Good morning, Silver Eagles. Officer Wunsch and I are here to talk to you a little bit this morning about our evacuation process for some drills that we'll be holding this year. You've seen some of these signs around the building in your classrooms with some of the different terminology that we use this year. Today we're going to be focusing on where the arrow is pointed there, the green box for evacuation. This year you're going to notice when we evacuate the building there are going to be some changes. So in the past for fire drills, the drills have gone out, students have gone outside. We've gotten students out as quickly as we can and then got them right back in. This year we're going to try and streamline the process a little bit and talk to you a little bit about why. One of the main reasons is we want to better prepare students and staff in case we need to evacuate off campus. So for right now, our drills really are just meant to get students out and get students right back in. Another reason that we want to change our process a little bit is just to hold students and staff a little bit more accountable for taking drills, to kind of emphasize the seriousness of them and make sure we're prepared. Another reason that we're changing evacuation drills a little bit this year is to standardize our expectations district-wide. So all of the schools in our district are following the same terminology and the same processes. And then also one of the things for this year is that practicing the evacuation drills right now are going to assist us when we get into the spring and we start to practice some more complex drills. So I want to explain to you kind of your role in this. So when we have an evacuation drill, so any time that we would need to leave the building as an entire school, it would start with you either hearing an alarm, so the fire alarms would go off, which we're mostly used to, or if there's an overhead page that is going to state that everyone in the building needs to evacuate. Here are the first steps that you would take. The first thing that you would do is you would follow the route out of the building for the classroom that you're in, and that you are going to meet your teacher and classmates in a designated area. So one of the things that you want to do in each classroom that you're in is check to look for a white map, and that map is going to show you your exit out of the building, the route that you would take. You're also going to see in the building a colored campus map, so it's going to be an aerial map of the school and of campus, and it's going to show you where you're going to be meeting your class outside the building. So again, this is going to be new for all of us. When you hear that alarm or that overhead page to evacuate, you're going to leave all of your materials behind, and then the last person out of your class is going to close the door.
One of the key features in this when we're leaving the building this year is going to be to stay with your teacher and your class and follow the designated route out of the building. That's going to be important when we get outside because we're going to need to get away from the building to prevent congestion at the doorways. And eventually staff are going to take attendance, which is going to make you require you to stay by your class instead of mingling or socializing with your friends. If you are, one thing to remember is if you are away from your classroom during the evacuation, head to the nearest exit and then you're going to find your class and where they're at in their designated location. So you'll find your teacher who's in their reflective vest and line up with the rest of your classmates. Again, you want to make sure that you're lined up with your teacher so that they can account for every student that's in class and compare it to the roster that they have, and then you want to be facing the school. So paying attention to what's going on in case you get further direction or instructions about what might take place next. You want to stay in your line while that attendance is being taken and then be patient while that process happens and until your teacher gets further instructions as to what might be taking place next. We need to remain outside of the building and in a safe location until we get the all clear. Typically it'll be from Mr. Kling, or if not another administrator, but you'll want to hear for that over the PA system. And then you'll want to follow your teacher and your classmates back into school, into the classroom, returning to your room from the same route in which you exited the building. Please don't wander around during the process because that just makes everything take a lot longer than it needs to. And then once back in the classroom, attendance will be taken again to make sure that we're not missing anybody, and then you can resume your normal activities for class.
So again, this is a new process for all of us, and again, I think the biggest change is just knowing that attendance will be taken when you're outside. There's going to be a specific area that you're asked to go to with your class and with your teacher, and it's going to be an all-school effort. So some things that you can do to prepare. knowing the evacuation route and the meeting location for each classroom that you're in during the day. So for some of you, that may be 4 different locations that you're going to have during the day. It's a good idea to just know, okay, in English, this is the route that I'm taking out of the building. This is where I meet my teacher. If I'm in gym class, this is the route I take out of the building. This is where I meet my teacher. Just a really good exercise to kind of be aware of that. And then probably one of the easiest things you can do is just ask any questions. So if you have any questions about this process or about where your class meets or what you do, just ask a staff member. So the practice that we want to preview for you is going to happen next week. So on Monday, which is a B day, your 2B class, your teacher is going to be talking through with you this process just to review, see if you have any questions. They're going to preview for you the evacuation routes that you're going to take for that class and then where you're going to meet that class outside. So your first practice is going to be in your 2B class with your teacher. The next time that you have your 2B class will be on Wednesday, September 27th, and we're actually going to have our drill on that day. So that schedule is going to be a little bit different. We're going to actually run an advisory day schedule, but you're not going to have advisory. So in essence, what we're going to do is going to make second period a half hour longer. It's going to be a nice 2-hour block that you're going to have with your second hour class. You're going to do your drill, and then you'll have class. So again, on the 27th, which is a Wednesday, you'll have an advisory day schedule. However, an advisory is not meeting. We're just going to use that time to make second hour a little bit longer. So second hour will run from 9:50 to 11:53. If for some reason we can't hold that drill on Wednesday, the weather's not cooperative, we'll push that back to Friday, the 29th. So thank you for paying attention to our message. This is going to be really important as we practice this, to be all very accountable. And we look forward to getting some feedback from you and from staff to make our evacuation process go smoothly. Thanks for your attention.
Thanks.